Just 18 months ago, Liverpool were celebrating back-to-back WSL titles, but it's been an uphill struggle since then. They finished second bottom last year, but this is a very different team. Scott Rogers is now at the helm, and there have also been major changes to the playing staff. The signs for a much improved season in 2016 are positive, despite only one win from their opening 3 games. Today, they've made the trip to Nottingham to face a Notts County team packed full of England internationals, but struggling for form. Just a solitary point so far this campaign, and it's now 10 months since they won a league game. Can the Lady Pies kick-start their season with victory against the Reds? BT Sports coverage of the FA Women's Super League continues live from Meadow Lane. It's Notts County versus Liverpool, and kick-off is just 30 minutes away. Yes, good afternoon from a rather wet Nottingham, which is somewhat typical, of course, for a bank holiday weekend here in Great Britain. But we've got 2 teams today ready to do battle whatever the weather. And I have 2 guests with me who have over 200 England caps between them. Arsenal defender Casey Stoney, and from Doncaster Rovers, Sue Smith. Sue, we've got 2 teams today that we've not seen this season yet, but they're new look sides, aren't they? Both of them compared to last season.
Yeah, real new look sides. And I think both teams are going through that transitional period. They've brought in new players. Obviously, Liverpool have also brought in a new manager, and I think that's going to take time for both teams to gel. And you can see Liverpool have had some good results, but it still will take a bit of time. I think they'll get better and better as the season goes on.
Casey, the amount of changes that both teams have made over the winter, can that be interpreted as they've underachieved, or they underachieved last season?
I think so. I think both teams have looked to rebuild, but I think they've had no choice because they've also lost a few players not of their choice. So, Liverpool have made a lot of signings, but I think their signings have made an impact, so that's important. And then obviously Notts County have tried to rebuild as well. So, yes, as Sue said, transitional phase, but they need to get points on the board, so it's a big game today.
It was a big fall that Liverpool made down the table last season, and they can't afford another season like that, can they, simply? But how far are they off Manchester City, Chelsea, Arsenal?
Yeah, well, I think Chelsea and Manchester City, unfortunately, have gone away from a lot of teams, and I think that's something that other teams are now trying to step up and achieve what they've achieved. And like you said, Liverpool are used to success. They're a team that want to win titles, want to win cups. So the fact that they've brought in a lot of new players, the new manager, it's like that's what they want to do. They want to achieve more. So I think they have dropped off a little bit, and I think it'll probably take a season or 2 for them to get back up there, but I'm sure they will.
Were you surprised with that last season, Casey, in terms of Liverpool and how far they've had? They were 19 points off Chelsea at the end of it. Yes, they were hampered with injuries, though, weren't they?
That's a massive gap considering the amount of games we play, which isn't very many. They have a lot of injuries, which really affected them. They didn't have the depth in the squad to be able to compete, and it just fell away from them at the end, and they just couldn't get results. They couldn't buy a win at some points of the season. So, I'm not surprised there was 19 points, and it's not surprising to see they've brought in so many players.
Plenty still to talk about, but it's been a busy weekend in the WSL. It all started, of course, on Friday. We headed up to the northeast to watch Sunderland against Manchester City, and it was City, of course, who made it 4 wins out of 4. And Sue, Nick Cushing said afterwards how perhaps they went into last season into games planning not to lose games, and this season they just want to go and win everyone. Is that different mindset the difference, do you think?
I think it might be, and it's a complete, like you say, a complete mind shift, a complete mentality change, and that's something that he will pass on to his players. So when he's doing his team talks, he will say, we're going out to win games, we're going out to score goals and not concede, and you can see in their play that's what they want. They believe that they're going to win every single game, and they're going to win cups, and they're going to win titles, and that comes from your manager and your coaching staff.
2 games in 5 days for Arsenal and a 4-point return for you guys. Start with the Reading game first of all, and you admitted afterwards that had you not bounced back, there would have been serious questions asked, wouldn't there?
Well, definitely. I think you look at our squad, we've got one of the best squads in the league, and we had to bounce back from a very poor performance against Chelsea. We had to get 3 points as expected against Reading, but 4 points out of 6 against Reading and Birmingham isn't good enough, and dropping 2 points yesterday was really disappointing for us.
Where were those games against Manchester City and Chelsea lost?
I think going down to 10 very early on in the Manchester City game really didn't help us. We've had a few individual errors that have cost us. And against Chelsea, if I'm honest, from 1 to 11, we was not good enough on the day, and we've got to turn up. We've got to start putting performances, and we've got to look at ourselves individually, and we've got to put it right.
How frustrating has the start been for you?
Very frustrating. It's been frustrating. We've not really had consistency in terms of team selection, which has been difficult. I know we've had sending offs and injuries and stuff like that, and we've not really been able to get our rhythm. We've not been able to play well. So, you know, our season has to kick-start from now. We can't afford to drop any more points.
You just took the words out of my mouth. Can you afford any more slippers when there is so few games, really, aren't there?
You can't. You know, a team hasn't won the title, losing more than 2 games. So we now have to go on an unbeaten run, and we have to win every game. And are we capable of doing that? Absolutely. But we've got to start now.
Okay, let's take a look at the table then as it stands. It will change today because there are 3 games in the WSL taking place. Manchester City still currently top. Our 2 teams in action today then in 4th place and in 8th place. As I say, there are other games taking place this afternoon. 2 of them have already kicked off, and at the moment it is Manchester City who are currently beating Doncaster 2-0, and Sunderland are in the lead at Reading by 1-0. The goal from Beth Mead there. We will keep you updated with those scores throughout this afternoon. Let's take a look at how our 2 teams today line up then. Starting with Notts County, our home side today, and Ellen White back in the team after suspension, and Sue, that'll be a real boost. She was of course 2nd highest goal scorer from last season.
Yeah, not only is she a goal scorer, she also works really hard for her team. She's a real team player. She'll bring in other players, she'll make those unselfish runs, and she's fit as anything, so she'll keep going for the entire 90 minutes, so that the team will be really pleased to have her back.
Sophie Bradley-Auckland, also a player that is back, and for Rick Passmore that must seem like a new signing after so long out with injury.
And I think that's exactly what he said. It feels like a new signing, and she's such a lovely person both on and off the field. She'll bring so much to the team, her experience and how she is on the pitch, but off the field she's such a good person to have around the dressing room. So I'm really pleased for her to be back playing, and she's had a nightmare with injury, so it's nice to see her.
Let's see how Liverpool line up against Notts County today. And Casey, I know Alex Green, or we assume Alex Green will be really disappointed not to be able to start today against her former side.
Yeah, definitely. I think, you know, she'll be disappointed. I know she's had a little niggle over the last couple of weeks, so this is first game back where she's, you know, ready to play again, but, you know, obviously manager not wanting to risk it. A little bit surprised to see Natasha Harding maybe starting at right back. She's not a defensive minded player, she's very much an attacking player, but obviously with the injury to Martha Harris, I think they're, you know, trying to put people in places and fill gaps really, so be interesting to see how she gets on today in that defensive responsibility role.
Well, Matt Beard, of course, led Liverpool to 2 titles in his 3 years in charge. Scott Rogers is now the man in the hot seat and looking to take Liverpool back to the top of the WSL. He's been speaking to Adam Somerton.
Scott, still very early days, but what have you made of the start so far to the season?
Yeah, it's been an up and down start. Started with a good win against Birmingham, and then obviously kind of threw away the lead against Sunderland. I felt we thoroughly deserved a point against Chelsea and we didn't get it, so this game obviously we're trying to look to pick up 3 points.
9 new players brought in during the off-season. Obviously you'll still be bedding those in, I should imagine.
Yeah, it takes time. We knew that. We always said that we would become stronger as the season goes along, but the performance against Chelsea shows that it's starting to settle quicker than we anticipated, so it's now about getting points on the board, so that's what we're aiming to do.
I guess because of the length of the WSL season, it's a little unforgiving in that respect. You don't have quite as much time, do you, for everyone to adjust?
Yeah, I mean, we're happy. We've picked up 4 points already, so we're ticking over nicely. Obviously, we think we should have had some more, and that's about us putting things right to make sure and ensure that we finish games off or see games out. But yeah, we're looking forward to the rest of the season.
It looks a really talented squad that you've assembled.
We've got a good group of players. They're all internationals, young internationals as well. I think that's the key, the youth internationals, with a lot of years ahead of them. But they're very experienced and they're gelling together nicely as a group.
Notts County, the opposition today, what have you made of their start?
Yeah, again, they'll probably think the same, up and down start. It's been one of with the way the season goes, because it's stop-start, you can't get any consistency, and that's something that I think every manager kind of complains about. So it's probably the same for them. They're looking to try and get 3 points today. They're a very, very tough team. Rick knows the league really well, and they have a style of play which is very effective at this level, so we've got to adapt to that and then play our own game.
Thanks for your time.
You're welcome.
Scott Rogers there speaking to Adam Somerton, and Scott will certainly take some credit for the 2 titles that Liverpool won, of course, as he was assistant to Matt Beard. But Liverpool gone for continuity. How important will that have been?
I think so, and I think he's learned probably a lot from Matt Beard, because he, like you say, he was underneath him, he was coaching the players, he knows the players really well, so he'll know what system Liverpool have played, and he'll probably want to put his own stamp on things, but he'll still continue with what the Liverpool philosophy is, and you can see that the players have responded to him, that the ones that have stayed and the ones that have come in.
A new managerial position for him, 9 players in, 10 players out, so many changes. You would think it would take time to gel, and he knows he kind of his best team.
Yeah, absolutely, but he knew what he wanted when he came in, and I think the fact that he was already here helps. He knows the setup, he knows the structure of the club, he knows a few of the players, he could target his own players and bring his own players in to put his own stamp on it. So yeah, it will take time to gel, and I think we've seen that in the first couple of games, but today's a big test to see how they've come on against a very resilient Notts County side.
We spoke just very briefly before between us. What's been the best bit of business, do you think, that Scott's done over the winter?
We were discussing this. We think sort of going forward, Weir, Van der Senden, we said that they're 2 quality players that can make things happen. They can score goals. We've seen them do that. They can create goals. But I think, Casey, you
I think from a defender's point of view, your goalkeeper's massive. It's such a pivotal position in women's football, in football in general. Normally the team that's got the best goalkeeper goes on to win things. So I think Siobhan Chamberlain's a massive signing for Liverpool, and will give their back 4 loads of confidence.
And what was Liverpool's losses, Arsenal's gain in terms of Farrah Williams and Ashwala? How important then can Caroline Weir be? She's already got a couple of goals under her belt. Can she fill that gap potentially?
Yeah, absolutely. Obviously, I've played with Caroline Weir at Arsenal, and she's one of the best technicians I've ever played with. She's absolutely brilliant on her left foot, and with a bit of confidence, which she's clearly getting here from her manager, she can play well, and she's been a key player for them in the first few games. And if anyone's going to open up that Notts County defence today, it'll be Caroline Weir.
Well, the rain is slightly easing. We'll see what happens come kick-off. We've spoken about Liverpool. After the break, we'll look more towards the home side this afternoon, Notts County, here in the WSL after the break. Welcome back to Meadow Park for our latest WSL game between Notts County and Liverpool. It's been an indifferent start for the Reds this season, and Notts County is still looking for their first win. Well, their manager Rick Passmore is speaking to Sue Smith.
Okay, I'm here with Rick Passmore. Rick, you obviously recruited well, got to the FA Cup final last season. What's your thoughts on Notts County's season so far?
So far, we've really done well. We haven't got the results that we wanted, but the performances, particularly in the FA Cup run, I think if we had 11 on the pitch come 70-80 minutes at Arsenal, we'd have gone on and won. I think both teams accept that one, but it wasn't to be. And also, how we played at Man City, how we addressed it and set up. We really frustrated City for 94 minutes, and then a free kick at the end. So, I'm happy with the performances, but we must bounce back from last week. Last week, the players are under no illusion. We underperformed, and that's something that we're not used to at Meadow Lane.
Can anyone compete with the top 2 of Manchester City and Chelsea?
I think when you look at what Beardy said last year before he went, I think in terms of what we've always wanted was to put the game high up there with the elite sports. And we're doing that with the Man Cities and Chelseas and Arsenals now. So literally, the resources, the budgets that they've got makes it very difficult for us. But the glass is always half full with me. You've been in that dressing room with me. I bounce off 4 walls. It's a great game. So, rise to the challenge. But I'll tell you now, it's a bit like Leicester and the men's. 9 times out of 10, the big hitters win it, right? But now and again, a little Cinderella story happens. But at present moment in time, I'll say City, Chelsea, and possibly Arsenal will be up there this year.
Rick Passmore talking to Sue there. You can understand his frustration, can't you? Without a win yet, but also they haven't won a league game since the FA Cup final last season. It's kind of the monkey on their back now, even though he's pleased with performances.
I was really surprised to hear they hadn't won a game for 10 months, to be honest, because I have to say when they played us in the FA Cup, I thought they were a really good team. Their front three caused us all sorts of problems. So the performances are there. They need to hang on to a clean sheet if they're going to win, I think, today. And, I'm sure that's frustrating for him, but the players know that they're playing well enough and the results will come.
What does that say about this team? The fact that they made 2 cup finals last season but lost both of them?
I think obviously it's disappointing. They're always organised, they're always resilient. They've got a front three that can cause you problems, but maybe they're just lacking that end product or that little bit of quality when they need it.
focus on the goalkeepers today because we've got the second and third choice goalkeepers for England going up against each other. And first of all, Carly Telford. Can Carly push Karen Bardsley for that number one spot, do you think?
Yeah, absolutely. I think Carly's in fine form this season. She's making some great saves. You know, her distribution with her feet is some of the best I've seen. You know, and she has to be given the opportunity, though, to be able to see if she can push KB all the way.
In terms of at the other end of the pitch, of course, healthy competition with Siobhan Chamberlain. And she's both of them in good form this season.
Yeah, absolutely, and it's fantastic. You know, they're number 2 and 3 at England. They're pushing each other all the way, improving all the time. Obviously, Siobhan's getting more playing time now since she's left Arsenal and come to Liverpool, so that will push her on. It'll be an interesting game today because it could be the tale of two goalkeepers, and whoever performs the best, you know, could be on the winning side.
Have goalkeepers in the women's game been unfairly criticised in the past, do you think?
I think the criticism's been there in the past. I wouldn't say it's been unfair. It's been an area of the game that's needed developing, but I think it has developed. You know, and I think it's still being scrutinised a little bit too unfairly now. I think look at the 3 goalkeepers we've spoken about: Karen Bardsley, Carly Telford, and Siobhan Chamberlain. They're fantastic goalkeepers. Unfortunately, when goalkeepers make errors, it is highlighted because normally it results in a goal.
Sue has returned back into the fold with us. We're just talking about goalkeepers, obviously, and Siobhan Chamberlain seems to have settled to life very well at Liverpool.
She has, and like Casey said, she wanted game time. She didn't play enough at Arsenal for me. She's an excellent goalkeeper, very good shot stopper. She commands her area very well, you know, and she organises her defence. And I think when you've got a good quality goalkeeper behind you as a defender, that's going to help your confidence, and that's exactly what she does. And you can see here, you know, she seems to be in the right position. She's just a very good goalkeeper.
One other player that we're going to pick out, Jess Clark. She scored 2 goals against Liverpool last season. She got a couple of goals against Reading. And if anyone can inspire perhaps Notts County to a win this season, or the first one of the season, could be Jess.
Yeah, definitely. And I spoke to Rick Passmore, obviously, you know, before we had the interview, and I spoke to him about Jess Clark, and he thinks she's on fire at the minute. And I thought last season she did excellently well. She's one of those players that gets the ball, she'll run at players, she's exciting to watch, she'll score goals. She'll create goals for other players, and she hasn't got a clue what's going on, and I think sometimes that actually helps because she's unpredictable, so she sometimes doesn't know what she's going to do, and it's so difficult for the defender. But yeah, again, a great character to have around the dressing room, and an excellent player. I can say that because she's my mate.
How hard is she to play against then, Casey?
She's a nightmare. She's so direct. She gets the ball, she's got one thing in her mind: can I get as close to goal as I can, and can I have a shot? So as a defender, she's always pushing you. You're always going backwards. She always fronts you up. She's always dribbling. She can go left, she can go right, and I think she's really improved her finishing recently. I know it's something she's worked very hard at. I think she's really unlucky that she's missed out on the international setup a couple of times, but that will only motivate Jess to get better. You know, and I'm really interested to see her play today because I think she could really test this Liverpool back four.
Well, we've got more WSL programming to look forward to on BT Sport this season. We're going to bring you the latest from the women's game with the WSL Social, and that is tonight from quarter to midnight on BT Sport 1. We are all set for kick-off here at Meadow Lane. It is Notts County against Liverpool, and it is coming up right after this break. Welcome back to Nottingham. We're very close to kick-off here between Notts County and Liverpool. Casey Stoney and Sue Smith still alongside me. Casey, we spoke about how long it's been since Notts County last won a game, but the last win was against Liverpool, so they'll be hoping that's a good omen today.
Yeah, I think if you look at the results against Liverpool, you know, they're on top in terms of wins, so they'll be looking at that. That'll make them confident. If I'm honest, I'm probably leaning towards a Liverpool win today, just because they've won, they've got a bit of confidence, and they've got some real pace up front.
So when we look back at what the comments that were made after a couple of games, and both Scott Rogers and Emma Hayes after the Liverpool-Chelsea game said actually Liverpool deserve more, and Scott will take the positives from that, won't he?
Yeah, he's got to take the positives from it, and I think you build from a good performance. Even though you haven't got the results, I think if your performance is right, you can build from that, and I think that's exactly what he's doing. And he said that his players have gelled quicker than what he expected, and I think that's something that they will definitely take into this game.
It certainly sounded like he was encouraged by the performance, if not the result. Let's get to our commentary team then this afternoon, and it's a very good afternoon to Lucy Ward and Adam Summerton.
Thank you, Natalie. Good afternoon, everyone. Well, Notts County and Liverpool Two of the most recognisable names in English football, now also at the forefront of the women's game and indeed efforts to drive it forward. They've certainly helped create the competitive WSL environment in which it's very easy to get left behind. And both these clubs are already playing catch-up this season. Early days, but Notts County and Liverpool with just one league win between them so far. Two talented squads, littered with internationals and promising youngsters as well. Both teams will perhaps see this as a chance to really get their seasons going. Notts County still looking for their first league win of the season, and they may well, on the face of it, be encouraged by facing Liverpool. Their last WSL victory was actually against today's opposition, 2-1 away from home last July. And the Lady Magpies' last WSL home win was also against the Reds. That was last May. And the ladies are keeping us waiting today. Meadow Lane home to Notts County ladies since 2014. The league record here last season, not the greatest, just 2 wins, took 8 points from a possible 21. Looking for a big improvement on that this time round, as Liverpool are in their away form. Have won just 1 in 8 on their travels. Their last league victory on the road was a 3-1 success at Arsenal, that in July of 2015, so it has been a while for Liverpool. Both these teams really are desperate for a platform for growth. Each perhaps will have been targeting this fixture to achieve that, which makes it, or should make it, a fascinating watch at Meadow Lane. Or Ellen White's return from suspension, a big boost for Notts County. The England international scored 3 times against Liverpool last season. Another player to come back into the starting lineup is Liverpool-born Fern Whelan, who started out with the Reds before moving to Everton. Rachel Yankee, signed on loan from Arsenal in March, is still waiting for her first Notts County goal. 9 new players signed by Liverpool during the off-season, 7 of them start today. Only one change to the side that began last week's defeat to Chelsea, with Laura Coombs preferred to Kate Longhurst in midfield. Among the subs is Alex Greenwood, who recently left Notts County for Liverpool.
Now, Notts County have a few injuries today, but will line up in a 4-3-3 formation. They've got a lot of experience centrally throughout, with Telford, Bradley, Bassett and Yankee. Jess Clark is a player on form for County, and they'll look to her as a go-to player as they try and get the goals to win the first game. Whereas Liverpool are still gelling new players, but will rely on Gemma Bonner's experience at the back to lead by example. They also look to impose their passing game today, with Van der Sanden charged with getting the goals alongside both Caroline Weir and Rosie White.
I have to say, there are so many potential players we could pick out for you today, but in terms of pace, there aren't many quicker in the WSL than England international Jess Clark. A real goal threat too. She scored twice in Notts County's recent draw with Reading. This current Liverpool squad not short of leaders, but Gemma Bonner is the team captain, a model of consistency. She hasn't missed a single minute of WSL action since 2013. This is the first time Liverpool ladies have played since last Tuesday's momentous Hillsborough verdicts ruled the 96 victims were unlawfully killed. There will now be a minute's applause in tribute to those who lost their lives 27 years ago, and indeed their families who have fought so tirelessly for justice. Well, supporters of all colours united behind the city of Liverpool this weekend. Finally, justice for the 96. These two sides who might have wished for greater starts, but if you scratch below the surface, each have plenty to be positive about. Achieving consistency, the key going forward for both Notts County and Liverpool. Easier said than done, of course, in football. Notts County, twice beaten finalists in last season's cup competitions. Right now, all their focus on moving up the WSL. Two-time champions Liverpool keen to begin restoring former glories. It's certainly an important 3 points on offer, Lucy Ward.
Yeah, it is, and like you say, I think both teams will try and use this game as a springboard. Notts County always strong, always resilient. I know Rick Passmore wants them to be better at passing, whereas Liverpool are trying to sort of, technically passing-wise, they've done really well so far this season, and they've incorporated these new players, and I think they've gelled quicker than anybody's really expected.
Early involvement for Yankee. Back through here with Siobhan Chamberlain. Notts County so keen to end their poor run of form in the WSL, including the back end of last season. They've now gone 8 league games without a win, losing 6 of them. Which will be perhaps even more concerning to Rick Passmore, the fact that they have been losing so many.
Yeah, I think so. I think he wants a bit more consistency. He talked about individual errors to me when I spoke to him earlier. By the way, this weather is absolutely ridiculous. Can't really tell from the pictures, but the rain is coming down. Difficult to play in at this stage.
We've had a fair bit of rain in Nottingham in the lead-up to kick-off. It had eased off a bit, actually, but almost on cue. The heavens have opened here. I know that both coaches were suggesting before the game when we were speaking to them that they were looking forward to a slick passing surface, but it could get beyond slick with the way that the rain's coming down right now.
It's monsoon at the moment. I think it should pass as the first half comes to an end. But it's important for both these teams to get, see it there, you can get a real high-intensity start. First goal, also important.
Talk about Notts County's different form. Liverpool have only won 1 of their last 7 league games. That was 1-0 against Birmingham City in their opening match of the season. A win and a draw and a loss so far for the Reds. Put out a play by Sophie Bradley-Auckland, formerly of Leeds United. Actually comes from Nottingham, started out at Forest. The two sides who like to try and set a high tempo. This is Bonner. He captained Liverpool to those 2 WSL titles in 2013 and 2014, signed a new deal in November of last year. On the ball again. Seeks out Weir. Cross came Hewitt. Just a little over-hit by Bassett, but you can understand what she was trying.
Yeah, it was. I think just preceding that was a nice little bit of play from Liverpool. They are trying to play out from the back. They are trying to pass the ball as much as possible and be confident on the ball, and that was the case. We talked about Caroline Weir before kick-off being technically very good, and she's not afraid to receive the ball facing her own goal and coming into those gaps. Notts County have also got players who want to play. Laura Bassett in there, sitting in front of the back 4, who want to dictate play from that position.
Liverpool looking to stretch the play here. It's a good ball by Harding. There's several arriving in the penalty area here for Liverpool. And only just off target from Rosie White.
It's a burst forward. So Laura Coombs in the end. And we've got Tash Harding playing right back and really attack-minded. In the end, it was a great little ball over. Ended up at Rosie White, and instinctively she just swung a leg at it. It wasn't that far away in the end. I think she was shocked that the ball had bounced through to her. She probably could have taken a touch, but it wasn't too far away.
New Zealand international Rosie White, signed from Three Kings United back in 2015. Actually scored in a 2-1 loss against Notts County in July of last year. Bonner's ball forward, across here to Van der Sanden.
So she's quick, Van der Sanden, you see there. Amy Turner's no slouch, but I think that's what Liverpool try and use, her pace over the top of the full-back. Van der Sanden has certainly made an impression in the opening games of this season.
Really exciting Dutch international. Van der Sanden signed from FC Twente in February. Also played for Utrecht and Heerenveen in her home country. Ingle. Weir's pass. Coombs. This is Van den Berg, another Dutch international in the Liverpool setup. Van der Sanden got to it.
Certainly off the cuff from Van der Sanden as it just arrived at her feet. Sophie Bradley went to clear it. Van der Sanden just got to it first, not too far away. It's really difficult there with the balls up in the air to judge it. She's brave enough to get in the way of the defender Bradley.
She had something of a dream debut in the WSL. Van der Sanden scored the winning goal in Liverpool's first league game of the season against Birmingham City. I know she's got plenty of people talking about her since her arrival at Liverpool.
Yeah, I think with the pace and the fact that she scored goals, that helps. The most difficult thing in the game. You're coming into a new club with lots of new players. One way to make your mark is to get yourself on the score sheet, and she's definitely done that.
To say every chance of goals here today, two fairly leaky defences. Notts County haven't kept a clean sheet in any of their last 10 league matches. Liverpool have conceded twice or more in 6 of their last 7 league games. They forward here towards White, who's yet to really get involved. Easy claim for Chamberlain.
There's always that run available for Notts County. Ellen White is a willing runner just on the shoulder of the centre half.
Got to say it, Lucy, it is some fearsome forward line that Notts County have on paper, isn't it?
Yeah, we've got Rachel Williams injured as well. You know, any 3 out of those will cause problems for defences, and I think that these are quite equally matched up front, these two teams. And I think before the game, Casey and Sue were talking about the goalkeepers, and it might come down to which goalkeeper has the better game against these 2 sets of attacking prowess.
Massive experience with the likes of Yankee and White. Rachel Yankee made her England debut back in 1997, 129 appearances for her country. Also the holder of an MBE and an OBE.
Also, I think she probably would admit to herself that she needed a little bit of a change from Arsenal. She's come here, you know, she's one of the most experienced players in the team. You know, and it will definitely help Notts County this season to have somebody like her within their 11, within the squad.
What she's just missing at the moment is a goal for Notts County, still yet to get off the mark for the club for whom she's on loan at. Taken away from her by Harding on that occasion. Van der Sanden looking to try and make a run and use that pace that we were just talking about. Sliding in there was Turner.
Well there, Amy Turner, because I think it was Sophie Bradley in the middle who was playing Van der Sanden on side, and she got the other side of Amy Turner, who recovered well. She's got a foot to it.
Van den Berg. Seems to be Liverpool who've settled the better. Bonner the captain. Jess Clark has got Yankee on the outside. Here's that injection of pace. Gets a past Bonner. Decent ball over. Great defensive header. Pacheco doing really well there for Liverpool.
That's why we've talked about Jess Clark, talked her up before this game, and she certainly is on fire. You just see, as soon as she gets the ball, her first thought is going forward, not to pass it out there to Yankee, but to just take it past Gemma Bonner, and her speed just takes it past the defender and chooses the pass. In the end, it's good defending by Pacheco. And I think it was Harrod James who was there waiting for the cross, but that's what Notts County need to do. They need to get Jess Clark on the ball, and she's so positive. And that's where they'll probably get most of their goals from this season, either her assists or her scoring.
I have to say that Pacheco showed experience beyond her 17 years there. Sense the danger. Weir. And there is Scott Rogers, who was appointed as manager of Liverpool Ladies after the 2015 season. That with Matt Beard leaving for the American side, Boston Breakers. He had been alongside Matt Beard. And I should imagine Lucy will have learnt a lot from the man who he's succeeded now.
Yeah, I think so. You know, he knows how the club works. But I think the one thing he's done, and I think from first observations, is his recruitment very well, because he lost some key players, some real Liverpool stalwarts at the end of last season, and you know he's had to replace them. And I think just that fresh impetus has meant that, you know, that Liverpool can go into this season, you know, full of promise over the next couple of seasons, that they get themselves up to the top again.
Something miskick from Siobhan Chamberlain. Seen by Liverpool as a natural replacement for Libby Stout, who left the club at the end of last season. Van der Sanden looking to do her defensive duties and did it well.
Interesting if Notts County try to get down this left-hand side, like I say, on the right for Liverpool. It's Tash Harding at right back, who's usually a forward, and Van der Sanden up. Both will be attack-minded, so Jess Clark coming down this left-hand side, or Yankee, it's probably something that they've already thought about in their game plan.
Notts County with several extra days than Liverpool to prepare for today's game. We're in action just over a week ago when they came from behind here to draw 2-2 with newly promoted Reading. The goalkeeper thought about coming then, changed her mind and was helped out by Bradley Auckland there. Just a little bit indecisive maybe, Telford.
Yeah, they worked it out between them, played a lot together. Sophie Bradley at centre half and Carly Telford. She came and then stuttered and went again, but Sophie Bradley just thought, I've just got to get rid of this. And in the end, good defending, and she will be happy about her centre half taking responsibility for that.
Previously worked with Rick Passmore at Leeds, Carly Telford. I was reading the other day that she's helped develop the first female-specific goalkeeping gloves.
How are they just smaller? It obviously depends on the size.
I think that's part of it, yeah. It's a nice ball for Yankee, and White's arriving in the area too. It's Yankee, it's White, it's brilliant! Lovely Notts County goal. Yankee with the assist, White with the finish. That was clinical.
Just what I was talking about, down this left-hand side for Notts County, where they may get the joy. Joy they definitely did get. You see the run from Yankee there, just typical Rachel Yankee. They win the ball back in the middle, and the first thought, get it wide, and she had the space. Tash Harding had gone too far forward, and instead of shooting, she'd gone too wide in the middle there. Ellen White, always available for those crosses, and she didn't even have to look up there, Rachel Yankee. She knew that Ellen White would be there, and she got first to it. It's a great break, and that's what Notts County will be looking at, getting in that left-hand side. And in the end, she looked like she'd fallen, Ellen White, which made sure the ball was in the back of the net before she went down.
I've got to say, Liverpool will be sick of the sight of Ellen White, who scored 3 times against them last season. She's to be given the honour of being named a Free Woman of the Parish of Aylesbury this month. It's the biggest honour any council can give someone, and of course where she comes from. So lots to celebrate right now for Ellen White.
Yeah, typical Ellen White as well. That goal gets herself in the right positions. Actually, Yankee just didn't even have to look to see her in the middle. But Liverpool will be disappointed because they've started well. Notts County, they've defended quite high. Notts County, and it's enabled Liverpool just to knock the ball over the top to free-willing runners who have got pace. They just need to sort that out a little bit. But they've got the goal. They've got themselves in front.
Attack again, Notts County, and it's been a great start for Rick Passmore, somebody that you've played under, Lucy. You know all about his positivity.
Yeah, I mean, you know, we always laugh about he's full of words, but you know, he's that passionate about the girls doing exactly what he wants them to do, and you know, and he's very supportive in making sure that happens. You know, he's part of the reason why they're really difficult to beat in terms of, you know, the diligence to working hard and pressing and closing down and making sure that they don't concede many goals. But great character, and if you're on that side, he commentates you through the game, so you always try and switch if you're on his side. That's the key. That's a word of advice for any Notts County players.
Hewitt. Header was by Laura Coombs, who's been recalled to the starting lineup today by Scott Rogers.
I think the ref's fully aware of what the pitch will do. I think he said, I don't know whether that was a challenge that Ellen White would expect, but also would expect to get a free kick for. Vandenberg, definitely a tough competitor for Liverpool, and you know, a good foil for Gemma Bonner as well. Gemma Bonner's only young, but she's had to lead this team the last few seasons as captain. She's got great experience, but I think sometimes you just need that older head next to you, and she's definitely got that this season.
Turner with the throw-in for Notts County.
What you found since the goal is that Notts County are just sucking Liverpool into a little bit of a scrap. Liverpool don't want to scrap. Liverpool want to pass the ball, they don't want to be closed down, and that's what County were allowing them to do at the initial part of this game. They need to get back to the passing, Liverpool.
Here's the goal scorer, White. Several forward in this attack for Notts County. And Liverpool got plenty behind the ball there. They've forced the Lady Pies back. Really good defending that by Scott Rogers' side, but County retain possession here with Hewitt. That's a really nice turn. Slice clearance, and they could be in again here. Just slightly overhit the pass intended for White.
This weather's just causing a few mistakes to be made at feet. It's a really good turn here by Hewitt. Obviously, she's usually a midfielder. Rosie White, typical centre forwards, defending there.
Clearance by Chamberlain. Out forward by Crichton. This is James. Now Ellen White. Whelan. Nice play by Liverpool. And the run by Van der Sanden has been spotted as well. It's pulled Bradley Auckland out from a central area.
What she's going to be into a tough afternoon. Sophie Bradley, she's used to that. Do like the look. Van der Sanden, pace and power. She always positive, trying to get on the end of any of those sort of balls through.
Pacheco. Ingle. One back here by Notts County in the shape of James. And a run here through the middle by Yankee, which was spotted by James, but the pass not precise enough.
It's actually quite an open game. To say that we thought it would be quite a tight one in terms of both teams wanting to get a win, particularly Notts County, their first win. It's quite a good spectacle.
Danielle Bewitt it is who will take the throw in. Started out at Arsenal, then had 7 years with Chelsea. Ladies, Danielle Bewitt, loads of experience. Ball over towards Yankee, and it's going to fall here for White. And they still can't get it clear. Eventually it's over from Crichton.
Initially a really, really good passage of play down the right-hand side. Crisp passing, 1 and 2 touch. Made Jess Clark away. Liverpool just couldn't clear it. They had 1 or 2 chances to get it out of the penalty area, and they couldn't. And with people like Ellen White, Rachel Yankee about, they cannot really afford to do that.
Harding just unable to keep that in, the pass from Bonner.
Fair play to Tash Harding, playing that full-back role when she's used to being up front and scoring the goals and creating stuff. And you know, she's quite a leader as well. Lots to say. Fully supportive to her teammates in front there.
Throwing goes Notts County's way. Notts certainly had Liverpool's number last season, beat them 3 times in League and Cup. There was a crowd of just over 2,000 at Meadow Lane for last season's corresponding league fixture, which Notts won 1-0. Clark's pass.
Interesting, we talk about the attacking players of Notts County, but you look at Laura Bassett, who sits in front of she's a centre half, but she sits in front, so naturally she'll be quite defensive. But what she tends to do when Liverpool are attacking is just to hold up play, just to stop Liverpool breaking quickly. Number 23 for Notts County.
To say women's football has been so well supported in the city of Nottingham. Only Manchester City and Chelsea averaged bigger home gates than County last season. Meadow Lane at just under 20,000 has the largest capacity of any stadium currently used by WSL clubs. Certainly is a fine venue, one with plenty of history as well. Of course, Notts County, the oldest football club in the world officially.
The Stewards have that on their little coat, the oldest football club in the country.
Quite rightly, extremely proud of that here. Clark's pass. Pacheco. Headed by Buitt. Space here for Tash Harding, who finds Van der Sanden. Of course, went close for Liverpool before the opening goal was scored by Notts. Van der Sanden was trying to lift one over the top. Had seen that movement from Caroline Weir.
You can see what she was trying to do there. She just couldn't get her foot round it properly. Caroline Weir's great movement, just into the gap between behind the centre half, between the centre half and the full back. But you can see the positivity Liverpool have going forward when they actually do get it forward. That they have the players that are capable, getting themselves on the score sheet.
He was very honest before the game, Lucy Passmore, saying about how unhappy he was with the performance generally against Reading. Had called for a big improvement today. Do you think he'll be pleased with what he's seen so far?
Yeah, I think so. Just full commitment. You know, you can see there he's arguing with it. It's so demonstrative. He's great. It's all theatre, but you know he gets really part of the game. And you know, I think he'll look at his team now and he'll be quite happy with the hard work and the endeavour, but also the quality. So I think he wasn't really happy about the lack of quality. He knows his players will work out because they won't be playing for him.
He said he felt that they lacked their usual fizz and intensity against Reading. Seemed to have rediscovered it so far this afternoon. Bonner now for Liverpool. Really good battling that to win it back by Crichton. Width provided here by Pacheco, the teenage left-back. A little loose, and it was Ellen White who almost intercepted that. Some of the players slipping, losing their footing. Did expect that the rain would make for a pretty slick surface. Rachel Yankee, who set up the opening goal, scored by Ellen White. Those two looking to combine again.
Notts County have as well. As soon as you've got players willing to go beyond the forwards, then the Liverpool defence have a problem. Hara James there is prepared to go. She couldn't get to it. Vandenberg had to defend well, but that will cause problems.
Yankee. Just a hopeful ball sent forward by Liverpool. Crichton. Van der Sanden always looking to get on the shoulder of the last defender and might get involved here as well. Had to hold the run to try and stay on side. Well, don't forget you can get across all the recent Women's Super League action tonight on the WSL Social from 11:45, and we have more live WSL action coming up on the 19th of May. Birmingham City, who are 5th right now, host newly promoted Reading. And there's a chance to see the reigning champions Chelsea in action on the 25th of May up against Beth Mead and co of Sunderland.
Just looking at Liverpool's midfield three, the shape isn't as good as the midfield three of Notts County, and I think it sort of exposes a bit when Liverpool lose possession like then and Notts County in a position to attack well.
Yankee. Jess Clark in the middle. And Clark might get to this! Just couldn't get it on target. Great ball over that.
I would have expected Jess Clark to at least put that on target, but in the end, it's a great little ball from Yankee. Just teasing enough for Jess Clark to try and get her foot on it at the end, and Siobhan Chamberlain looking at her defenders saying, why am I facing Jess Clark like that, one-on-one?
White. Now Yankee, who's having a good game so far. Really getting involved down this left-hand side and causing Liverpool problems as well. This time, White just straying offside.
Just looking at Liverpool now, Sophie Ingle right in front of the back four. It's Katie Zellum as well, needs to get herself into the game a bit more. Laura Coombs is getting above and beyond the forwards, but just a little bit more compact shape, just to compete against the Laura Bassett's and Harrod James. And Crichton just on top at the moment, Notts County.
Certainly is no shortage, Lucy, of experience and leadership in this Liverpool side. They have the Dutch captain in Van den Berg, they have the Welsh captain in Sophie Ingle, and of course Gemma Bonner is the Liverpool captain and a really good leader as well, so they should have the mentality to get themselves out of this sort of situation.
Yeah, definitely, and you know, they can actually have started the game really well. They've got themselves opportunities, but they've just not put them away yet. Get a grip on it in midfield, because Notts County are defending quite high.
More positive play by Van der Sanden, just taken off her by Whelan.
The problem for County is if they defend really high, you see Van der Sanden gets past players really easy. If they defend too high, Notts County, and there's no pressure on the ball, it's just easy to knock a ball over the top for the fast pacey runners to get on the end of it.
Weir, who's a Scotland international, finds Ingle, the Welsh captain. Van den Berg, who captained the Dutch in their first ever World Cup in 2015. Just kept in by Pacheco. And all the way back here for Siobhan Chamberlain. Harding, just slightly the wrong side of Van der Sanden. I'd say that it's nice that the rain now seemingly has eased off at Meadow Lane, not wishing to jinx it, mind you.
No, it's not really helped the players. It's been problematic. We've seen a good spectacle so far. I think it's helped the players. They'll be glad of it stopping.
Zeller. It's a decent ball for Laura Coombs, whose shot was charged down. Sophie Ingle. That's a lovely turn by Zeller. Zeller's ball, I think intended for Caroline Weir, but just a bit too much pace on it.
Yeah, could have just slid Caroline Weir into it. She has the technical ability to receive the ball there at pace, but she was in two minds whether to have a shot or to knock it through, and in the end she just had too much pace on it for Weir to control it and have a shot herself.
Headed by Van den Berg. Pacheco is the covering defender, wasn't taking any chances. Under-19 international Mayumi Pacheco made the breakthrough at left back in 2015 when Karina Schroeder was out injured. Liverpool actually turned her down at 12 years old, and she came back a year later and did get in that time, and they're glad that they recruited her then. One of the side's brightest young prospects now. Well, Liverpool a goal down here, as are, of course, their men's senior side. In the semi-final of the Europa League against Villarreal, the second leg is live this coming Thursday at 7:30. What an atmosphere it should be at Anfield for that. All the action live on BT Sport and indeed in 4K and Ultra HD. Just over half an hour gone. It's Ellen White's goal which is the difference between the sides. Their first of the season in the WSL, returning from suspension today. Coombs has done well to keep it in. And now Sophie Ingle. Hits it back again here, the Welsh international. Caroline Weir. Good period of possession here for Liverpool, and they've needed it too. Vandenberg. Now Yankee for Notts County, on loan from Arsenal. Calmly dealt with by Pacheco. Coombs. Chance for Van der Sanden to get involved as Tash Harding goes beyond her. Zellen. Here's Sophie Ingle. They find some bite in the final third. Liverpool, again, it breaks down as they approach that sort of area.
Yeah, a little bit of possession there for a couple of minutes, and that coincided with a little bit of lack of pressure from Notts County. I don't think Rick Passmore will be happy with that, and getting in the faces of Liverpool stops that passing game, and Liverpool just got into the stride the last couple of minutes.
Thank you.
Well, on Friday night we were watching Manchester City regain top spot in the WSL when they went away at Sunderland. They are leading 6-0 at home against Doncaster, and there are 15 minutes still to go in that one. And Sunderland drawing 1-1 at newly promoted Reading. It is going to be some race, Lucy, for the WSL title, but how strong is City looking?
Absolutely, Sue's going to be crying. She's going to sit at the side of the pitch. You won't know what's rain and what's tears. 6-0, it's got to be her fault. But yeah, they're a strong team, and like we say, up at the top, them, Chelsea, if Arsenal can get back into the stride, then them as well. Quite exciting.
It was interesting talking to Nick Cushing before that game about how maybe having a small squad has actually benefited Manchester City so far this season, and he's been able to keep a settled side.
Well, he's able to keep them happy, and that's the most important thing. You know, when you've got players that are not playing and they're internationals and they can't get into the first 11, or they can't even get into the squad, then you don't have a happy camp, and it does affect, you know, whatever you say, it does affect the group.
It's a little loose from Vandenberg, and it's picked up by Jess Clark. White calling for it in the middle. Clark goes alone! Oh, that is sensational! Jess Clark is on fire right now, and she's just proved it there. A wonderful goal. Her third in the league this season. No wonder Rick Passmore's happy.
That's just what Jess Clark's all about. You know, she can pick the ball up. The thing about it, she moves at speed with the ball. Clever feet, mistake there. As soon as you let her onto the ball, she can get past defenders, and there's not enough pressure on the ball there. Siobhan Chamberlain will look at that and think, why on earth did you not close her down? You know, she only needs a sniff. A little bit of a mistake there from Vandenberg, but that sort of space there, she has a look up. You've got to get in her face, and what a brilliant finish that was. Just saw Chamberlain just a little bit off the line, but you know, that's a classic finish. Great lob.
They scored 2 in that 2-2 draw with Reading in County's last game. On the score sheet again today. Really enjoying her football right now.
You just can't afford to give it any sort of space on the edge of the area, either to take you on or to get the shot off, and that's exactly what Liverpool did.
You wouldn't believe that Notts County are yet to win this season. But there has been a feeling, you know, at Meadow Lane that they've perhaps been a little unfortunate at times. They lost to an added time winner at Manchester City in their opening league game. Went out of the cup on penalties at Arsenal and drew 2-2 with Reading. So perhaps Notts County supporters, the positive ones amongst them, might have suggested a good performance was in the offing. Tash Harding. Liverpool have to try and respond surely before half-time with 10 to go before the break.
The thing about Notts County is that they've scored when it matters. They've scored when they've got into positions, and I think that's probably what they've not done in previous games. And Liverpool, they've had a lot of possession, they've got good ball into the box, a foul there by Rosie White, but they haven't got the finish on it. But you cannot underestimate this Liverpool team. If they can get the next goal, then it'll be an interesting going into the second half.
Say what was also interesting was the reaction of the Liverpool players after that goal went in. They all got together in a bit of a huddle, almost had a team talk led by Bonner in their own half.
Yeah, well, they don't want to go further behind. They don't expect to be 2-0 behind, but I just think that the intensity of their play, you know, it's all right being passing it and Notts County letting them pass it, but they've got to have a bit of tempo and a bit of intensity to the passing to get the ball maybe up to the front in 2 passes rather than 5. And obviously they're 2-0 down now. They're going to have to do something a little bit different.
Yankee. What a player she has been, Rachel Yankee, and on the evidence of today, still is.
Yeah, she probably, this is a new challenge for her, and new teammates, new ground, and you know, a new type of manager. So she'll probably relish. Looks like she is enjoying herself anyway.
Given away by Bonner. This is Harding. It's Harding again. Just can't really get Van der Sanden as involved as much as they would like, I'm sure, Liverpool, but here she is now. And it's tried the difficult effort, but it was a comfortable take for Carly Telford.
A lot of opportunities for Liverpool to get Van der Sanden on the ball beyond the full-backs, as Notts County playing the defence quite high, but just needs the quality of ball to be better into White, because she can get on the end of it quite easy for Carly Telford.
Pacheco's header. Sophie Ingle. Really composed on the ball, the Welsh international. Pacheco. Missed by Harding, and now it's Yankee. Overlapping run here is by Amy Turner, but well recovered by Tash Harding. Just wonder, Lucy, looking ahead to half-time with, what, 7 minutes of the first half to go, whether Scott Rogers might be thinking of changes, if not in personnel, maybe in formation.
Yeah, I think he saw his team on top, and then Notts County basically score against the run of play, and it just seemed to knock the stuffing out of his team, and they're not playing with the same intensity, so they'll either be looking to change it or put a rocket into them at half-time to up the tempo and play like he knows that they can play, and maybe just be, you know, not, like I said before, not really doing the 5 or 6 passes up to the final third, and being a little bit more direct, because they have direct players in that final third.
He was saying before the game, Scott Rogers, that he felt that his side maybe deserved a point in that 2-1 loss against Chelsea in their last game. Pacheco. White. Jess Clark. Such a tricky player. Vandenberg it is who's come out to her here. Cross had too much on it for both White and Yankee. We hear so much, Lucy, in the modern game about possession, and that's telling, isn't it? Liverpool with 65 of it, yet trail 2-0.
Yeah, it's possession with purpose. It's all right having possession around your back four, but like I said before, the tempo has to be higher, and Notts County have used what possession they've had and got themselves 2 goals up. So I can tell you what is the most important out of those 2 figures.
Who can Rachel Yankee pick out here? As ever, White loitering. And that was something of a miss hit, and there's a nasty whack there. And it's no wonder that there is a lot of concern here. It's a really hefty collision.
Just see the commitment from Sophie Bradley. She just got a nudge, and in the end I think she banged her head on the post. A bit of a nasty collision. She went for it and just, I think, yeah, she got tripped up. She couldn't really stop herself from going into the post. She's a tough nut, but it was a hefty clash.
Well, the Notts County defender actually does come from Nottingham. She started out at Nottingham Forest. And thankfully she's able to sit up Sophie Bradley Auckland. Remember when she was part of the 2012 Olympic squad as well for 4 years ago.
Yeah, she only needs a minute. She's tough. She ain't going to go off for something like that, and the full commitment from her to go for the ball. They just have to be a little bit careful. You see Liverpool there, they didn't expect to find themselves 2-0 behind the way they started this game, so they've got to find answers to the questions that Notts County are posing. So that sort of information that Scott's putting on there, they've got to put to good use. Obviously, as the half-time interval, they don't want to concede again before then.
It's really good, having seen this, to see Sophie Bradley Auckland getting back to her feet so quickly.
Yeah, she won't let that affect her. She looks innocent, but she's tough as old boots.
Well, I think we didn't need to be too much of a lip reader there to tell that she just said, "I'm fine." But then we'd expect her to say that, wouldn't we? I have to say, Liverpool's response in the second half is going to be really interesting to see. Up against Notts County, just a 1 point so far this season. They would have really seen this, Liverpool, and may still do if they can stage a comeback. It's an opportunity to really get their season going.
Notts County pressing Liverpool quite high. See Sophie Bradley coming back on. Liverpool might need to sacrifice the beliefs they have of the passing through the thirds, and just to bypass that press and put the ball long a couple of times, because I'm sure they will get some success out of Notts County's defensive line. That is how high that is.
Notts County really are a side that Liverpool owe one to, particularly after their defeat in last season's Continental Cup semi-finals. Again, as it stands, they're going to be on the end of another defeat against the Lady Pies, Liverpool. And their injuries were a real problem for Liverpool in that Continental Cup semi-final, as they were, in fairness to them, for the majority of last season. Had 9 players out for that game against County, and it's a strong Liverpool side out there today.
Just an example there, that pass there could have gone straight forward to Caroline Weir. Now they're defending against a throw-in, and they could have had an attack on. Just that short pass didn't need to be made at that stage, because they're being pressed by Notts County, and Notts County are on top.
Danielle Pewitt with the throw-in. Yankee wanting it on the edge of the area. The shot is driven in. The effort by Leanne Crichton. Held onto by Siobhan Chamberlain. Liverpool certainly purely in terms of results, have been off to a very mixed start, a win, a draw and a defeat. I'd imagine to achieve consistent results immediately after an off-season of such change, with 9 players in, 10 going out and a new coach. They've got to find a way somehow to try and get back into this. Clark. Problem there for Jess Clark. Seconds remaining of the first half at Meadow Lane. Pacheco looking to try and hold off Ellen White, and has given away a corner in the last knockings of this first 45.
It's important for Liverpool that they don't concede again, and that really would be a mountain to climb, so they just keep it tight to half-time and then see what the manager does in terms of changing things.
Into added time we go. Inside the area here for Notts County. The corner kick is taken by Rachel Yankee. It was a good delivery too. Clearance here is by Ingle. Turner got there first for Notts County. Now it's Gemma Bonner for Liverpool. It's a really good ball to seek out Harding now. Can they get one back before half-time here, Liverpool? 2 arriving in the middle. It's a really good ball over. It was a great chance as well that they weren't able to take, and look who was back defending, Ellen White, who got the opener.
Yeah, fully committed there, Ellen White. This is where you want Tash Harding, right on the edge of the opposition's box. It's a good ball in, but just took too long there. Laura Coombs, but terrific saving tackle there from Ellen White, all the way from the centre forward position.
Yankee. I mentioned earlier that she's been out through suspension, Ellen White, and she's looked like she wants to make up for lost time a bit, hasn't she, in this first half?
Yeah, I think it was 2 yellows, and I'm not sure, it was a little bit contentious how I mean, she's not really a type of player who does get sent off, so for missing a game in such a short season, it's the last thing she'll have wanted, so definitely enjoying this game.
Rosie White giving chase. Buick to take the throw in here for Notts County. Being in that defensive role today, ordinarily used to seeing a midfield role. Bonner. And there is the half-time whistle. It certainly has been Notts County's half. The opening goal set up by Rachel Yankee, scored by Ellen White, her first in the WSL this season. Jess Clark got the second, a goal to remember, her third in the WSL this campaign. It means at Meadow Lane at half-time, it is Notts County Ladies 2, Liverpool Ladies 0.
It is half-time here in the WSL. There's a big week across Europe as the Champions League and Europa League finalists are decided, with 2 English sides looking to be involved. First up on Wednesday, Manchester City visit Real Madrid following their 0-0 first leg. Coverage of that gets underway from 7 o'clock on BT Sport Europe. Then on the same channel the following night, Liverpool host Villarreal, looking to overturn a 1-goal deficit in their Europa League semi-final. Coverage of that one begins at 7:30, and that one also available in ultra-high definition. We have had other games in the WSL this afternoon, and here are the results. Not good reading for Doncaster Rovers star Sue Smith next to me. 6-0 Manchester City women beat Doncaster Bells today, so the biggest result of the WSL season so far. And then Reading and Sunderland drew 1-1, so both those teams still waiting for their first win of the season. As I say, Sue Smith is still with us, and Casey Stoney here as well. Sue, Notts County 2-0 up, but also have been the better team.
I thought they were the better team. I thought they dominated the first half. I thought they were better in possession. I thought they wanted it a little bit more. I thought they were winning the first ball and they were winning the second ball. And I just thought like they had the quality all round. I thought Liverpool had chances, but Notts County deservedly are 2-0 up.
Casey, what's been Liverpool's biggest problem, do you think, that first half?
Just giving the ball away. Every time they've given the ball away in the wrong areas, they've been caught on transition, and County are really, really good on the threat. And as soon as they've given it away, I think, if I'm honest, Natasha Harding's positioning is questionable on this one. They've given it away. She's too high. Means your centre half gets drawn out, and Rachel Yankee does brilliant not to shoot here and just square it. And obviously Ellen White's enthusiasm and desire to get in the box pays off.
Great teamwork between Rachel Yankee and Ellen White there. So
I think it was, and I think it was really good movement from Rachel Yankee. And I thought she was going to shoot, and I think to have the vision to pick out a player from there is fantastic wing play. And Ellen White, you would put your money on Ellen White to score. She's going to get across that defender and side foot it in, and deservedly they went 1-0 up, and you can see how much it meant to the team to score that first goal.
And Ellen rallying the crowd after that as well. Jess Clark had a chance, perhaps should have made it 2-0. She did eventually. She had a great chance. She could have had a couple of goals already that first half, but what a goal it was.
Yeah, she just looks so lively, and we mentioned before the game, when she gets the ball, she looks to drive at players, and here, this is her weaker foot, her left foot, and I know she has been working on her left foot and a shooting, and that's a fantastic finish. We thought at the time, could Siobhan Chamberlain have done better? I don't think she could, because that's top corner, but I do think defensively they could have closed her down quicker. I think as she came in, I think the centre half had to come in and stop that shot, but great bit of skill from Jess Clark. I've got to give her credit for that.
Liverpool have had more of the possession, as we said earlier. Their best chances perhaps came in the first 5 minutes. The first one from Rosie White, Casey.
Yeah, I think possession counts for nothing unless you can turn it into goals. The chances they have come down their right, and they need to keep exploiting that. I think maybe it's just behind her, isn't it, the cross, otherwise she hits the target. I think this is a difficult chance for Van der Senden, but I think if she hits the target, that's going in, and it's a different story. So yeah, they're getting in there, but I have to say that there's a serious lack of quality in their final third at the moment.
Could Scott, do you think, or do you think he should make changes, perhaps to the formation?
I think he doesn't necessarily need to change his personnel, but I would put Van der Senden more central. I think she could cause problems more central with her pace. It's a zippy pitch, anything in behind she can cause problems, and I think they've got to tidy up in their midfield to final third.
Notts County could be on their way to their first win of the season, not just the first win of the season, their first win in 10 months. Can Liverpool launch a fight back? The second half here in the WSL is coming up after the break. We're almost ready for the restart here at Notts County, but as West Ham United prepare to say goodbye to their famous ground ahead of the move to the Olympic Stadium, legends of the club past and present chart the history of the club's Upton Park home, offering a unique insight as to why the ground and local area is held so dear to so many. And you can watch the Farewell Boylan documentary tonight, and that is from 10 p.m. on BT Sport 1. Casey and Sue still with us. Casey, we mentioned Tash Harding playing out of position. It is a big ask, isn't it, to play someone out of their comfort zone?
Yeah, it's a massive ask, and I think injuries are obviously a problem for Liverpool at the moment, with Martha Harris being out and she's having to fill the gap. I think positionally she's been a little bit suspect in the first half. She's been a little bit too high at times, and that's caused some problems. I think as a back four, I think she needs to sit a bit deeper, think defensively, just leave Van der Senden to go 1v1 versus the fullback.
In terms of conditions, we saw terrible rain before the game, but and the surface will play its part as well in how each team plays too.
Yeah, definitely, and it is quite slippy out there when you look at it, and the ball is skidding off. So I think you've got to, when you're making your passes, you've got to make sure that you don't zip it across, because it is going to go out of play. So I'm sure that's something that they've discussed at half time.
We're ready for the second half. Let's get to our commentary team, Lucy Ward and Adam Somerton.
Thank you, Natalie. Well, the first thing to tell you is there is going to be a change made by Notts County. Maya Krantz has come on here. He has replaced Sophie Bradley-Auckland, who we saw have that hefty whack to the head when she collided with a post in that first half. So clearly, and quite rightly, every precaution being taken there. Maya Krantz, an experienced player to come on at 29, represented Sweden at youth level, has Champions League experience as well. But Notts County well on their way to their first league win of the season. That forward line of Yankee, White and Clark looking such a threat. Liverpool, Lucy, need to find a way to contain them, but also offer more of a threat themselves. Easier said than done.
Yeah, I would think that Liverpool, they need to go from back to front a little bit quicker, a little bit more bite in midfield. and a little bit more quality, like Casey said, in terms of the passing and not giving the ball away, but just bite and tempo and steal. Because what they've done is they've let Jess Clark and UHL Yankee get on the ball and not really got close to them. Be a little bit more physical with them and let them think that they're in the game rather than, you know, free run and trying to get past the fullbacks.
Back here with Carly Telford. Interesting to see if she can really push for the England #1 spot. We'll see if Rosie White, the New Zealand international, Ingle. Good start, so important to this second half for Liverpool. Coombs, who was recalled to the side today, referred to Kate Longhurst. I'm sure the Liverpool head coach Scott Rogers just want to see a reaction from his players in this second half.
Yeah, I mean, they started really well, actually up until Notts County scored. I think he just demands a little bit more of them. That's what I'm sure the message was at half-time. They've got to be a bit more quality, a bit more tempo and intensity. Just take the game to Notts County. At the moment, Notts County are running it, but however, Notts County are a real all-or-nothing team, and they just need to manage the game a little bit better. They have Laura Bassett sat in front of the back four, but you know, the Liverpool had a chance right at the end of the first half, which was actually from Notts County throwing all the players forward for a corner, which was just before half-time. It's, you know, like a little bit all-or-nothing.
To say the situation that Scott Rogers has inherited at Liverpool, not a million miles away from the one Matt Beard did in 2013, the previous season. Liverpool had finished bottom of the WSL with 5 points from 14 games, and there followed a massive overhaul of the squad until 12 months later they were champions.
Yeah, probably a little bit different this time because I think Chelsea and Man City have raised the game along with Arsenal, raised the standard of the WSL and gone to the next level. But yeah, I mean, it's wholesale changes again, but I don't think Liverpool are going to win the title this time because, like I say, Chelsea and Man City have gone to that next level, you know, with the input they've got and the finances, etc. But you can see this team developing if they keep them all together this season and next season. It's quite a young team.
Just mentioning Manchester City there. A huge win for Nick Cushing's side today, 6-0 against Doncaster. Apologies to Sue if she's listening in.
She's wiping the mascara away from her tears under her eyes. She needs to get back fit, that's what she needs to do.
Pacheco. Lofted forward by Gemma Bonner. The header was by Van der Sanden. Out came Carly Telford.
See that sort of ball, I know Carly Telford got to that first, but that sort of ball just behind the fullback, Van der Sanden, who can run on, you know, she's got the pace to get on the end of it. That's going to get Liverpool up the pitch and get them having chances into that in that final third, get them back into this game.
Tash Harding will take the throw in. Here's Harding again. Keen to combine with Van der Sanden. Headed by Bonner. Almost just gave possession straight back to White. On clearance by Siobhan Chamberlain. Liverpool create here. Sent forward by Whelan. Certainly Liverpool, for much of the first half, having the better of possession. Vandenberg, miscontrolled by Pacheco, just maybe took her eye off the ball. Bonner. Header by Maya Krantz, introduced at half-time due to that injury to Sophie Bradley-Auckland. White. On ball from Whelan. There is confirmation of that score from the Academy Stadium, Manchester City winning 6-0 against Doncaster. And there is Sue in the crowd. He obviously won't be happy at all.
Texted a transfer request in by the look of it, so he's not paying attention. Now she want to get back fit and get in and help her Doncaster Bell's teammates out and trying to get them around the bottom further up this league. And I've got the players capable of doing that.
One other game as well that's been played earlier today in the WSL. It finished in the game involving Reading and Sunderland 1-1. Beth Mead was on target today for Sunderland. And Sunderland did have a player sent off in that game, finished it with 10. Of course, we were at the Hetton Centre watching Sunderland against Manchester City on Friday night. It was just a shame. I think we both thought, Lucy, the lack of service up to Beth Mead, who does look quite a threat.
Yeah, she does, but if you don't give her the ball, then she's going to score goals. And she managed it a lot last season, and she just needs to get into a stride. She has been doing.
Van der Sanden with the ball over. And it was cut out by Fern Whelan. Here's Van der Sanden again. Play the 1-2 with Harding, gets in a dangerous cross as well, and this is better from Liverpool.
Yeah, it is. I think what they've done is they've just moved themselves about 10-20 yards further up the pitch and playing the football that bit further up the pitch, and then what they can do then is they can get into the final third. That's a great cross to get in, just puts Amy Turner under pressure to clear it.
Certainly asking more questions, I think it's fair to say. Caroline Weir with the deep delivery. Liverpool get the throw in. Sophie Ingle, captained Bristol last season, left when they were relegated. Well, one back here by Zeller. The foul there on Rosie White, who was just a little too quick with the turn, wasn't she?
She did well there to turn. Liverpool didn't really have anybody in wide areas there, so to get the free kick, it's good play by Rosie White. It's an opportunity here for Liverpool to get themselves back in. I do think if they score the next goal, then it will cause problems for County.
And they find a way to work Carly Telford here. I know that Rick Passmore, the County head coach, had said before the game how he thought Liverpool were a big threat from set pieces. It's one of the areas that they've been preparing a lot on. Notts County, but this you would think should be a direct effort on goal. Laura Coombs, clearly the favourite to hit this. They got something up their sleeves, maybe Liverpool. It's been left. It is a training ground routine. In the end, it was Rosie White who struck it, but they might see that as a waste there, Liverpool.
Yeah, I mean, you can see what they were trying to do, but it's just got to be quicker because Notts County are not going to hang around and watch that routine. Rosie White just needed to get the ball. The second touch needs to come a little bit quicker after the first one.
Zeller once scored a winning goal against Notts County, which took Liverpool to the WSL title. Blocked by Ellen White, such a hard-working player. It's not happening in the final third, the attacking third. She'll get back and defend. First line of defence and all that.
Passmore's urging his team forward just to cut the space so that they can press Liverpool a little bit higher up like they did in the first half.
Bonner stretching for it. The throw in is Notts County's.
See, the thing to do there is not smile at him after he shouts at you like that. But it really is important that he gets his back four up the pitch, and they were wandering a little bit, and sometimes you do need that shout. Not happy though.
Rick Passmore had highlighted from a Liverpool perspective Caroline Weir and Van der Sanden as the key dangers. I think he'd be pretty happy with how quiet both of those were in the first half.
Yeah, everything that Liverpool have done so far really has been in front of the Notts County back four. You know, he doesn't want them to get in behind, and so he wants his team to press so they can't get the ball through Liverpool. They only need a chance. Understanding looks like the type of player. I am impressed with Weir, technically very, very good. Brings other players into it.
Given away by Pacheco. Can hardly afford to do that with Jess Clark around, but well recovered by Liverpool. Whelan holding off Ingle. Nice touch by White. Forward here towards Van der Sanden, who maybe has got the pace to get him behind here. And the referee has pointed to the spot. It will be a penalty for Liverpool and an opportunity for them to get back into this. The challenge was by Turner.
You see there just the pace, and they've got in behind, like we said. They've not done it often. As soon as Van der Sanden can get a body in front, Amy Turner, I think she did get something to the ball, but it's difficult for the referee to see. I mean, we're looking at it in slow motion. She got the ball knocked onto her foot. Well, the referee, see the referee's angle here. All the referee sees here is that Amy Turner brought her down. But if you look at it from where we're seeing it, she got to the ball. You just can't bring the player down at the same time.
Crucial moment in the game. It is Caroline Weir for Liverpool. It's a big miss. An opportunity squandered.
I would have just put money on her scoring. So technically good. She tried to get it in the top corner, just trying to be clever to get it in that corner, but you've got to make sure. Got underneath the ball. Riley Telford wouldn't have got anywhere near it in the top corner. It's a chance for Liverpool to get themselves back in this game.
It's been in such good form as well. 2 goals in as many games for Caroline Weir. Not the opener in the 2-2 with Sunderland. Back here for Chamberlain.
They just let Notts County off there. Liverpool, you know, they've had the better of the opening exchanges of the second half, and they could have got themselves back in the 2-1.
Ellen White. This is Jess Clark. That spurred Notts County back into action, I wonder. Certainly Liverpool have been the better side in the second half.
Yeah, they have. They're playing further up the pitch. The first time they get player in behind Van der Sanden, then they concede a penalty at Notts County. So you just see the quality that they have of the pace they have going forward. They just can't get them in that position.
Well, whatever Scott Rogers said at half-time, he was making plenty of notes, wasn't he? It's made a difference. Weir. It's a nice turn by White. Hewitt now brings it forward for Notts County. Ellen White's going to need some support. Rachel Yankee making a run towards the penalty area. Brilliant from White. Oh, that is wonderful. What a goal from Ellen White. A real moment to remember. She had players arriving in the middle, but she didn't need them. It's 2 now for Ellen White. It is 3 for Notts County.
How quickly the game can change around. Liverpool has a penalty to try and make it 2-1. And then you just see what a great run by Ellen White. Pacheco's far too far up the pitch. She gets into that space left by the left back. And good turn here. Gemma Bonner won't be happy that she got past her so quickly, but that's an excellent finish. Not really much Chamberlain could do. She stood up to it, but that's a terrific finish from Ellen White. Left foot just kills it round Siobhan Chamberlain, and from 2-1 it could have been. It's now 3-0, and you would suspect game over, Notts County.
It just shows you, emphasises even more, Lucy, how big a moment that penalty was. That Liverpool score that in the ascendancy already. Suddenly we have a real game on our hands. Notts County will see it missed and then score themselves, and suddenly it's a massive mountain for Liverpool to climb now.
Yeah, Notts County have taken the chances and they've scored good goals as well. That's the thing. Ellen White's got 2 goals, 2 great finishes. One from her and one from Jess Clark as well. And if you don't finish the chances when you get them at this level, You know, and I know Liverpool will have thought that, missing the penalty, that, you know, maybe thinking that this is not going to be their day, and then Ellen White goes down the other end and scores another terrific goal. Really, probably isn't their day.
Real quality about all three of the Notts County goals, you have to say. Hewitt, White, strong challenge by Mandy van den Berg.
It's just the intensity that Notts County are playing for. As soon as you score goals, what confidence does. But I mean, that sort of challenge on Ellen White there on the halfway line is what Liverpool should have done in the first half, because they've had far too much freedom. You know, you sort of give away a foul there, you get a talking to or a yellow card, but you know, it lets the centre forwards know that you're there, and probably that's the first time Ellen White's been kicked up in the air, and she's used to being kicked up in the air. Don't worry about that as a number 9.
Clark. A huge test of character, this for Liverpool.
Well, they've done the same in both halves. They started the half the better team and then conceded a goal. You know that, but could have got themselves in it with that penalty miss.
They've won it back again here. Just Clark couldn't make anything of it on the edge of the area. This is Weir.
Again, Bassett involved. Number 23 for Notts County. She's just there, like I said, in the first half, sits in front of the back four for Notts County, breaks up play, holds the play up if Liverpool get the possession back. It's a role that not many people can do, but it's not. You only notice how good she is when she's not there playing.
Just about kept in by Bonner. Liverpool, as you can see, readying a double change here. Alex Greenwood, formerly of Notts County, is one of those coming on. It's Pacheco who comes off for her. Really disappointed to see her go, Notts County. And she felt as though she was returning home when signing for Liverpool. Greenwood, here's the other substitution. Which sees the Swedish international Emma Lund brought on here for Liverpool. Perhaps will give them that more punch in the final third. White, the New Zealand international, it is who's withdrawn. I know they're expecting big things, Lucy, of Emma Lund, signed from Lillestrøm in January.
Yeah, it's a big ask coming on. Imagine coming on at 3-0 down. Alex Greenwood, you know, she's come to Liverpool to play, and she probably won't want to be sat on the bench and coming on when you're 3-0 down. No wonder she didn't look happy coming on, but you know, she's got to cement her place in this team. Emma Lund, and we're hoping that she can get a goal or two this afternoon to try and salvage this particular game.
It's a really hefty challenge on Lund as her first introduction. Yankee back defending, but Van der Sanden's win it back for Liverpool, trying to release Weir. Across for Notts County came Bassett.
It's all about character now for Liverpool. They need a few leaders to step up now and try and get themselves back in this game. If they can't get something from this, and you know, to move on with this season, but you know, they've got 25 minutes left to try and get a couple of goals and you know, see what happens. It just really needs leaders to sort of drag everybody up to that level, and we just don't seem to have it at the moment.
Perhaps emphasises the strength of the WSL now that we have two sides here absolutely littered with senior internationals, including the Dutch and Welsh captains, several England players too, yet both Notts County and Liverpool, both big outsiders, Lucy, in terms of the title shake-up.
Yeah, I think both of them will see this season as, well, we don't want really big changes at the end of this season. Let's work with this group of players, let's get some consistency going and give it a real shot next year, trying to win as many games as possible this season, but you know, give it a shot next season. Both made really good signings, you know, before the start of this season.
Here's Greenwood. Too dangerous area, it had to be dealt with by Fern Whelan.
First you see the quality from Alex Greenwood, the ball she put in there, she gets herself up the pitch and she is an attacking threat, and I am surprised that change didn't happen at half-time. Particularly Greenwood coming on.
Alex Alex Greenwood it is who sends in the corner dangerously. And they're appealing there, Liverpool. It was Bonner, the captain, looking to get ahead to that.
Tell you what, if Fern Whelan hadn't have defended as well as she did there, that would have been a goal back. It's great defending from Fern Whelan.
As we were mentioning earlier, as I say, Rick Passmore felt Liverpool would be a threat from situations like this. Not on that occasion, no. That fall for Weir. Harding's pass. White, scorer of 2 goals so far this afternoon. Jess Clark, Yankee Central. More good wing play by Jess Clark, but that time Liverpool did well in defence through Sophie Ingle.
One thing Liverpool can't do is give in, because this Notts County team will score more goals. They've got to stand up to continuing threat and get themselves back into it.
Foul throw. Well, don't forget, you can get across all the recent Women's Super League action tonight on the WSL Social from 11:45, and we have more live WSL action coming up on the 19th of May. Birmingham City, who are 5th right now, host newly promoted Reading. And a chance to see the reigning champions Chelsea in action on the 25th of May up against Beth Mead and co of Sunderland, who drew 1-1 with Reading earlier today. A reminder as well that Manchester City have beaten Doncaster Bells by 6 goals to 0, cementing their place at the top of the WSL. Here is Yankee, and still just kept in by Gemma Bonner. And having told you about the scores that we've had today, I guess we should take a look at the table. Notts County, Lucy, was 2nd from bottom at the start of the play, and as it stands, of course, they've moved up to 4th. Manchester City 6 clear of Chelsea at the top, although they have played those 2 games more.
Yeah, probably need 2 or 3 more games before we can look at it equally, because Chelsea haven't played the games and neither have Notts County, but I think Notts County need to be pushing for that first top 3, especially if they're going to play like this in every game.
Greenwood held off here by Jess Clark. It's another example of how Notts County have, when they've needed to, defended as a team. Jess Clark, part of that really threatening front 3, but doing the defensive work there as well.
Yeah, they've got a great work ethic, and led by Ellen White really up front. She's always the one coming back. Jess Clark will run all day, and that helps. It helps the midfield 3, it helps the back 4 as well. You've got players up front who will defend from the front. It's invaluable.
Harding, Coombs calling for it, gets it here as well, the number 8. Mandy van den Berg. Greenwood, who's made a difference since coming on. Greenwood's ball in towards Van der Sanden, well read by Carly Telford.
Yeah, just a bit of quality now from the left back. Alex Greenwood shouldn't mind. The first thought is to cross or create something for someone else, and on a weaker right foot she didn't get the angle of that pass right, but it's there, the thought's there, and the intention, and it's always positive.
Was named in the WSL Team of the Year for 2015, Alex Greenwood, that as a result of her performances last season for Notts County. Clark. Just over 20 minutes to go at Meadow Lane. Sent forward by Buett. What a night it's going to be at Anfield this coming Thursday. Liverpool trailing by a goal to 0 from the first leg at El Madrigal against Villarreal. Can they stage another European comeback at Anfield? It will be some atmosphere, and you can see it live on BT Sport and, of course, in 4K on our Ultra HD channel. And you'll certainly be hoping to have a better time on Thursday.
It's a bit Press's hooter on Thursday night.
Liverpool give themselves a lifeline in this game. If any clubs can stage a comeback, it is Liverpool. Just about in the club's DNA, isn't it? Van der Sanden unable to get to that. Here's Emma Lund. Plays in space here, Liverpool. Zellem. Striking one, and it falls for Vandenberg. Now then, here's Yankee for Notts County. Yes. Lovely feat, wasn't it? Which led to the foul by Gemma Bonner.
Yeah, that's correct. And it's a good little turn in the end, but Gemma Bonner had already committed. I think one thing you will say about Liverpool is the next starting 11 won't be the same as the starting 11 today, because I think the players that have come on have made a difference. I do like the look of Lund. You see Kate Longhurst there, being prepped to come on.
Towards Jess Clark, and the chance for the hat-trick maybe for Ellen White. Decent connection.
She definitely has the ability to hit that first time, and she just couldn't get enough on it. I think she did have a chance to take a touch, but she couldn't get the connection, and she does have the ability to put it in the top corner from there as well.
It's very nice of the sun to join us at Meadow Lane.
Another 4 seasons in one day again.
It's been a typical bank holiday Monday in that respect, hasn't it? Bewitt has been solid at the back today for Notts County. Sends it forward, headed by Vandenberg. Whelan. Rachel Yankee. Zellem was the furthest forward there for Liverpool, but just overhit that with Carly Telford.
Liverpool have just an injection of a little bit of tempo since the substitutions have been made, and it's important that Notts County don't give them any encouragement, that they even get one goal back into this game. I know Carly Telford will definitely want to keep a clean sheet and it be a convincing win. They've got to see the game out, manage the game well.
Crichton's pass involves Jess Clark here. Just one trick too many there on that occasion from Jess Clark, but I'm sure they'll forgive her that, the Notts County fans. Liverpool readying their third and final change here. And it is the player who missed that penalty, Caroline Weir, who is withdrawn. And it's Kate Longhurst who comes on, who was dropped from the starting 11 today, former Chelsea player. And a change as well by Rick Passmore, Rachel Yankee withdrawn in the final 15 minutes or so. And it's maybe Lewick who's come on here. The Matildas, an Australian international, signed from Melbourne City in March.
She has been ill coming up into this game, so I think that's why she didn't start. Definitely one of the key players that Rick Passmore does see for this season, one of his new ones.
He's had 3 spells with the Brisbane Roar, also played for her hometown club, the Perth Glory. Lewick. Hewitt, width provided here by Jess Clark. Always looking to inject that bit of pace, as is Van der Sand. Zellem. Now then, this looks promising for Liverpool. 3 in advanced areas, Harding. Lund's wearing number 9 is central. Zellem on the edge of the area. Instead it goes back here for Coombs. They've lost that bit of momentum that they seem to have there, Liverpool, but have kept possession. Harding.
That's where you want to see Harding, down that right-hand side, taking full-backs on. That's what she's good at. Not really used her strengths today. She's a top-quality player. She's used the last part of this game to show that. That's where she should be playing.
It's going to take time, I guess, for Liverpool to find the right starting 11, the right blend, the right shape, formation. those 9 new players coming in, 10 going out. Scott Rogers new to the role of head coach as well.
I do think that he's missing Martha Harris. It just adds solidity to that back four when she plays. She's up and down that side and she defends very well. And instead they have someone who's just filling in, and that just makes it difficult at this level when you're playing against players as good as likes of Rachel Yankee and Jess Clark.
Alex Greenwood, as Notts County supporters know, is something of a set-piece expert. What can she produce here? Well, that's way off target.
She's confident enough to try it. That's to be some shot to beat Carly Telford from there, but she just couldn't get it up and down. I suspect she's quite frustrated. She's trying to do the best she can in this game. It was saved by the ball girl behind the goal anyway.
Hadn't featured since the WSL opener for Liverpool against Birmingham. Alex Greenwood, that 1-0 victory, although did play both England games in April. Headed by Lund, and now Harding, who's got Van der Sanden arriving in the middle, maybe chose the wrong option.
I'll tell you what, it was a terrific header from Carly Telford's goal kick from Emma Lund. Right at the right angle to play Harding in, and Harding probably knows herself that she could have taken a touch. She has better quality than that on goal.
And as we saw, Lucy, from the table that we brought up a little while ago, Notts County, as it stands, will be moving up to 4th in the WSL. And we mentioned that forward line, that front three that have been so good today. How far do you think they can go this season?
Well, I mean, just seen on today's display and the goals that they can score, and they look pretty solid defensively. You know, you never know if they can get if you can get a run on 2 or 3 or 4 games winning in a row, then you propel yourself up this league and you start to put pressure on the likes of Arsenal, start to put pressure on the likes of Chelsea and Man City. You know, and I know that's what Rick Passmore just wanted to turn the season round. He thinks that the performances should have got more points, but they haven't. But I think he will be. I don't think they'll have much negative to say about today.
Sliced by Greenwood. And White looking to get to it. Towards Ellen White again, but the offside flag is up. Well, 2 goals so far today for Ellen White. She was the player of the match when these sides met in last season's Continental Cup semi-finals as well. Scored both goals in a 2-0 win.
What you get from Ellen White is good old 100% hard work, but she also has the quality when it's necessary. She's cool in front of goal, she can finish, but she will work and work and work to provide chances both for herself and for other teammates. And she's invaluable to a team like Notts County. And she probably epitomises the hard work that gets them to where they get.
Hewitt in too much of a rush to take this. Headed on by Clark. Greenwood. The head of Hewitt. Lund applying some pressure here. Sophie Ingle. Well, as you know, Lucy, having worked under Rick Passmore,
what more does he want?
Yeah,
I'm not being funny.
Never happy, is he?
His team are 3-0 up and he's still shouting. They've just all ignored him. That's the thing to do.
I look forward to hearing from Rick Passmore after the game. And the side still have 10 minutes to play here. Clark, and now White. First touch just let her down.
It's not often you say that about Ellen White. Her first touch let her down, but that might have been goal number 4.
Van der Sanden. Zellem. Space here for Ingle to try and exploit. Width provided by Longhurst. 4 inside the area here for Liverpool. If Longhurst can delivery over. Trying to get away from Lewick. Eventually does come over towards Zellem. It's just behind Lund, and it's a free kick to Notts County.
Just a little bit of a nudge by Zellum. She knew she wasn't going to get it, so she wanted to create the space behind her. Longhurst did well, and again another right-sided forward player. She just leaned on Amy Turner to try to allow the ball through to one of her teammates behind, and the referee saw that and on the spot.
The attendance at Meadow Lane today, 1,102. Good crowd. Both these clubs, just like the rest of the league, going out of their way to promote women's football right now, encourage potential stars of the future. Notts County last week announced that the Nottingham girls side West Bridgford Colts are the latest to sign up to being what they call a sister club. Really good initiative that actually involves getting the club getting tickets to WSL games. There are player appearances, sister club tournaments, all promoting the women's game. It's great to see.
Yeah, the FA have worked tirelessly over the last few years to make sure that the next generation coming through, you know, are part of this and just improve the quality of football and get everybody involved. You know, there's hundreds of girls playing football now, and it's just unheard of, you know, sort of 10 or 15 years ago, and it's all down to the work of the FA and these WSL clubs.
I've got to say, it was really interesting when we covered that game at Sunderland playing Manchester City on Friday night. It took the Manchester City players a good half an hour or so just to get off the pitch for people wanting pictures and autographs. It was great to see.
That's the thing about the WSL. You can come and watch a game and you can actually meet these players as well, and I think you can get closer to these footballers more so than any other league, professional league in the world probably. So that's good. You see your role models and then you get to meet them, get a picture taken with them, and you know, they take time out to make sure that happens so these supporters come back, and that's what it's all about.
Gone by Lewick. Whelan's had a finding touch. Performance at the back from Fern Whelan. Spent 9 years with Everton when they were relegated from the WSL in 2014. He was born in Liverpool, actually started out on the red side of Merseyside.
Yeah, she's come back from a serious knee injury as well. It took her a while to get back from, and you know, she's had a good game today. Mixed up this back four of Notts County because of the injury to Sophie Bradley. She's been solid throughout and getting back to the form that one of the most potentially one of the best young players in the country.
Bonner. Vandenberg. Greenwood. There's Gemma Bonner. Just over the head of White's lovely ball actually. Greenwood. Van der Sanden getting on the move. Needs support arriving in the middle. Here it comes in the shape of Lund. And Zellen. And the referee's pointed to the spot here. It's going to be a second penalty of the game for Liverpool.
And again, when Liverpool get behind the defence of Notts County with the pace of Van der Sanden, good play by Lund there. See there whether Amy Turner actually got the ball, but it's good play. And in the end, she took the player down after the ball had moved. It's a right decision from where the referee is looking.
Carly Telford preserve a clean sheet. She can't. Expertly taken by Katie Zellum. Her first WSL goal of the season. They once scored a title-winning goal for Liverpool against Notts County. That gives them a lifeline.
Does, maybe too little too late, but Carly Telford won't be happy about giving up that clean sheet. She wanted to see that 0 in her column. That's a great penalty. Sent Carly Telford the wrong way, Katie Zellum. We just wonder if that had happened at 2-1, the outcome of the game would have been.
5 minutes to go. Hewitt. Played wide by White. Van der Sanden almost got there before Telford, who timed that to perfection.
I see Notts County caught with 4 or 5 players beyond the ball there. They don't really need to do that at this stage. They just need to manage the game and let the game finish at 3-1 rather than just giving Liverpool a chance to get that second goal. Just manage the game out and win and get the 3 points.
His side not quite there. Would be an astonishing comeback from Liverpool if they were to take something from this game. But that penalty just puts a little bit of doubt. And if they could get another one here, who knows? It's Greenwood who will take it, who's definitely made a difference since coming on as a substitute. Decent ball in there, Van der Sanden trying to get to it. They're appealing for handball again there, Liverpool, and I have to say...
It looked just like handball from this position. I've only seen it once.
We'll certainly have another look at that in a moment. Liverpool trying to force the issue. That's a good ball as well for Zellen. Oh, and it's in! It's another one for Zellen. And Liverpool here have a chance of rescuing a point. Suddenly, 2 quick-fire goals.
That's a great finish as well, just not defending properly. Notts County. Zellen was onside, but that's a really good finish from there. To beat Callie Telford from that angle, it's got to be absolutely precise, and she's got her team right back into it. Right in the corner, Callie Telford were disappointed she didn't get anything on that. Just Notts County just got to defend well. Liverpool back on top, the momentum's with them.
Super play by Katie Zellen. She said before this game that she felt that it was an ideal opportunity for Liverpool to pick themselves up, to give themselves a platform on which to build. And you can only imagine what the Notts County players are thinking right now, Lucy, because they just looked like they were coasting to 3 points at one point.
Yeah, they're panicking a little bit. They don't need to panic. You know, for the next however many minutes, they just need to keep possession, but turn Liverpool around. And you know, none of them look like they want the ball now, but they've just got to get that confidence back at when they were 3-0 up. Liverpool have got to come. The impetus is with them. They defend well, Notts County.
Well, history tells us that if there is any club out there that you never rule out, however far behind they are, it's Liverpool. And here they come again. It's Van der Sanden. This time, it's a routine save for Carly Telford, but you can almost sense the nerves at Meadow Lane.
Yeah, and that's the ball, isn't it? Over the top to Van der Sanden. Really, probably the wrong choice here. Got the ball across, but wrong choice there of heading it, because it just relaxes Notts County again.
Great advert for the WSL, this. Notts County will be in no rush to take this free kick.
No, they've just got to kill this game now. Notts County, every free kick like that just inches the time towards the end, but Liverpool, the momentum's with them. They can get the ball and knock it over the top. They have a chance.
Sent to the area by Hewitt, just gives possession straight back to Liverpool. Chamberlain will just launch this forward, but towards Tash Harding. The header was by Fern Whelan. And then Zellen, the scorer of 2 second-half goals, puts it forward for Liverpool. Just approaching added time at Meadow Lane.
Notts County just giving possession away. That was offside, but they have to keep possession and not panic. Do the things that they're doing that got themselves 3-0 up. And fair play to Liverpool, drag themselves back into this game.
Heading into added time then. 3 minutes of it for Liverpool to try and find an equalising goal, and for Notts County to try and hold out. Lewick. to get it forward here. Never expected this game to be this finely poised as we move into the final couple of minutes. Greenwood to take the throw in. Can they create another opportunity, Liverpool? Greenwood again with the throw to Emma Lund, who's led the line well after coming on as a substitute. You'd have to say that Scott Rogers' changes have all made a difference.
Yeah, they have, and you know, if you'd probably done them at half-time, it maybe right back in it. But Lund, I'm impressed with her. Alex Greenwood is probably going to start if she's fit at left back all season, and that's why he brought her in, top quality. His substitutions have done really well, really positive.
I guess in a game, Lucy, just really emphasises what we were saying before the game about Liverpool, is that this is still a side, a squad where Scott Rogers is finding the right blend and will strike upon it at some point.
Yeah, like I said, I don't think the starting 11 for the next game will be the same as the starting 11 for this, and he's seen different things in different players, but they have got the quality, and that's been shown in these 2 goals.
Clark doing some defending, but there was a foul there on Lund, and we know how good Liverpool can be from set pieces. As we move into the final minute of added time, they have a chance to whip this over.
Yeah, I mean, they've got the quality in Greenwood, and they've got to throw the bodies at it, not to count it. They have to defend this for their lives. It's going to be a real fight in the middle for the ball.
Delivery has to be good. It's Alex Greenwood who's more than capable. He will take it here for Liverpool. And it's gone out of play. How frustrating for Liverpool.
Sorry, I know I'd have put money on Alex Greenwood putting a great ball, and that was probably the last chance that Liverpool will have in this game. Such a shame for them.
Notts County looking to waste away some valuable seconds from a Liverpool perspective by making a change here with just seconds remaining. That's good management, I guess you might say, from Rick Passmore. The applause there for the scorer of 2 goals today, Alan White.
Yeah, I could see his team was wobbling a bit, and he just needs the time to drift past the 93rd minute mark.
Whelan it is who comes on here. Liverpool seeking to get on with this quickly, they have to. Time almost up, Notts County almost there. Surely they have to just send it long here, Liverpool.
It's got to go forward now.
Didn't reach Van der Sanden. Turner sliding in for Notts County. All about closing the game out now for the Lady Magpies. All eyes on the referee. And there is the full-time whistle. Notts County have their first win of the WSL season. A big 3 points for Rick Passmore's Magpies. 2 defeats in a week for Scott Rogers and Liverpool. The Reds' new look squad still very much a work in progress, but great second half performance from Liverpool. Those 2 goals from Katie Zellen made for a fascinating finish to the match, but it's Notts County who prevailed. It finishes at Meadow Lane. Notts County ladies 3, Liverpool ladies 2. We have seen a really good game at Meadow Lane. Jess Clark with a super goal, and we saw 2 as well, didn't we, from Ellen White. Really threatening front 3 for Notts County. Let's tell you about all the other live action we have coming up. A really exciting week ahead on BT Sport at the Bernabeu on Wednesday. Goalless between Real Madrid and Manchester City from the first leg of that Champions League semi-final. Join us from 7 o'clock for that one. And then on Thursday, can Liverpool stage another Anfield comeback in Europe? 1-0 down from their first leg at El Madrigal against Villarreal. Remember, you can also see that in Ultra HD as well. And our next WSL action involves Birmingham City. You go up against newly promoted Reading. That is on Thursday, the 19th of May at 7:15 available on BT Sport 2. Well, let's have a look at how today's results have affected the WSL table. Liverpool in 5th and Notts County, well, they've moved from 8th up to 4th. Just shows you what an impact a victory can make. They just about got there in the end. Let's head down to Natalie, who's with the Notts County goal scorers.
Ellen, Jess, congratulations on today. Ellen, first win in 10 months. How much of a relief is that, particularly after that comeback from Liverpool at the end?
Yeah, it's a massive relief. I think we put in a great performance. We needed that third goal, but you know, good CV. Yeah, I think we're a little bit disappointed, obviously, to concede 2 goals. But yeah, fantastic for all the girls. A little bit of confidence, a little bit of momentum going into Sunday's match. But yeah, really pleasing to get the 3 points on the board.
2 fabulous goals from you two. Whose was the best?
I think we'll have to watch it back. But no, we're just happy to get the 3 points. Really, it doesn't matter who scores at the end of the day as long as we get the win.
Can this be the turning point, Jess?
I hope so. I think it'll obviously give us a bit of confidence going into the next game. I really feel it's something that we needed. I think we lacked that little bit of confidence, and today this performance hopefully will help us push on.
Ellen, you mentioned momentum. It's something that Rick mentioned in his programme notes today, and that's something you need to build. Do you think you can build that momentum now after today?
Yeah, definitely. I think that's what we needed. We need a little bit of confidence. We need to get it on the floor, pass it, get a bit of possession, score some goals, get that confidence going. So, yeah, it's exciting. You know, we're looking forward to now playing Birmingham. They've had some decent results. Obviously, they drew against Arsenal. So, yeah, we're looking forward to the next game. Put this one to bed now, get the 3 points, and hopefully move on to the next game.
We'll let you go and celebrate with the rest of your teammates. Well done, Ellen. Well done, Jess. We've got more analysis and reaction to that win for Notts County 3-2 against Liverpool after the break. Welcome back to Nottingham, where Notts County have just secured their first win of the season. It was all going their way. They were 3-0 up with 85 minutes gone. Liverpool did stage a comeback with 2 quick goals, a 5-goal thriller for a bank holiday Monday in the WSL. But not enough for Liverpool to go back to Merseyside with 3 points. And the Notts County ladies can celebrate this afternoon. Somebody else that can celebrate this afternoon with a huge smile on his face is Rick Passmore. And I know you said, Rick, that you've been pleased with performances, but finally you can be pleased about the result.
Pleased with the result, get the 3 points. That's really important to get yourself up and running. You can see that, you know, the big teams, the good teams, City, Chelsea, they've already got into, you know, their stride and their pattern. So to get 3 points is really great, apart from that last 5 minutes.
You could understand without getting the wins that heads can drop in a changing room. How have you had to manage that and keep spirits up?
Well, literally, I mean, we've performed really, really well. We haven't got the results. Last week, we got what we deserved, which was 1 point. They had a bit of a flea in their ear from me this week, and they've performed very well. I've changed a little bit of the personnel, but like Casey and these two will say, at 2-0 at half-time, it's a difficult scoreline. You've got to go on and go and score the third one. If not, you're up against it. And then you've got to be able to see it out in the last 5 minutes, and a few wrong decisions, and we went deeper and deeper, and we can't do that. We're 3-0 up, and we should be just keeping the ball for fun and killing the game off.
Well, let's talk about the goals, and let's go through them then as they happened. And Ellen White started things off with the help, of course, of Rachel Yankee. How valuable has Rachel been this season? How much of an influence has she been?
Top class professional. These two have played with them at club level as well as international level. She just brings in that experience, but that quality, she composure. Anybody else would have belted it there. She's had a touch, seen it, and that was actually our platform, because before that I think Liverpool were dominating a little bit of possession, but then the goal has got us going, and that's also probably got Ellen White going as well, seeing that goal going after 3 or 4 yards.
Casey, you can vouch for that about Rachel as well, can't you?
Yeah, absolutely. I think she's got a really cool, calm head in the final third, and that's what you need. You know, we were saying anyone else would have probably had a smash at that, and she's picked her head up, seen the run, and played a perfect ball across the box, and Ellen White's got to tap him.
And how have you found that your newcomers have settled? Because you've made a lot of changes, just as Liverpool have as well, but have they all settled in now?
Well, literally, I think these two have been in my dressing room. It's lively. You've got to have characters in there, but you've got to have characters that actually understand the game, and these two do. And what Rachel's done, she's helped us on that side, because the game's changing. It's about being good in possession. You know, we play against Arsenal, they can pass you off the park. We need to improve, and what's helped is Rachel Yankee in that position for us.
The first of two fabulous goals, Sue, came from Jess Clark, and it really was a goal to be proud of, wasn't it?
It's a fantastic goal, and we said before the game that's what she can bring. You know, she gets the ball at her feet and she wants to drive at players, she wants to take players on, and it was with a weaker left foot as well, but top corner, I think she'll be happy with that. And you know, when it's 2-0 as well, that just settles, I suppose, your nerves a little bit.
It does, but the thing is, we've been working on when she cuts inside, the 9 come and play a 1-2 with her, and she's got nobody to aim at. Look, so she's had to shoot. So that's just serious good ability. And at the moment, she's flying. She's real confident, and she's enjoying the football.
Well, we'll show you Ellen's second goal in just a minute. I asked them both on the pitch whose was the better. When you watched them, could you pick out which was the better goal? I know you'd be pleased with both
I think
of them.
the third one, in terms of the timing, because Liverpool were on top and we've just got into their 18-yard box for the first time in the second half, and Ellen has been really, really cool, clinical goal. But I think all three were very good, and also at good times for us as well, because we played against a good Liverpool team today. You know, good patterns of play, and I think just like Casey and Arsenal, all they'll do is get better.
Well, this was the first penalty. Casey, watching that back, was it a penalty for you?
I think she gets a touch on the ball. I think it's harsh, if I'm honest. I think she gets the ball. I would be really disappointed as a defender if that penalty was given against me.
Yeah, I'm going to say I'll be harsh in here. I just thought maybe referee in the last half an hour started playing to the cameras. I've had a good chat with him, but I thought that was harsh. She's got the ball first.
Yeah, she is, definitely.
Because I think when we watched it initially from the stands, we thought it was a penalty, but watching it there on the screen, she won the ball cleanly.
That could have been a turning point for Liverpool right there. You would have put money on her scoring it as well, wouldn't you?
Yeah, because technically she's a very good player, and we thought that she would at least get the ball on target. So that's, I think, looking at the results, it's an even bigger miss.
Well, this is Ellen White's second goal and the third goal, and Ellen again showing her quality.
Well, what you've got to be is, as Casey's, and I'm like it as centre half, if you're going to play possession play, you've got to look after the ball, because we're playing with full-backs high, and the last thing you want to do is lose it and in transition get done on the counter-attack, because I wasn't the quickest, you know, so that's the last thing I want to do, is having Jess Clark or this time Ellen White running at you, and she's gone down the sides of the centre half, and that is a top class finish.
Liverpool came out a little bit better there, but perhaps performance in the second half, didn't they, Sue, compared to
Yeah, I think they were better on the ball, but I still think Notts County dominated the game. I think it was just the 10 minutes of probably madness, but they did. This is the second penalty, I think, where this was it Amy Turner again, where she dived in, and again this
if you look at her, she played tired in the last 10-15 minutes. She was out on her legs, but she did that last season to Gemma Davison for Chelsea. So she needs to learn a little bit quicker than that.
Yeah, and I think that was a penalty, in my opinion, but a good penalty, and I think it gave them a little bit of belief once they scored their first goal. I think they thought, we can come back into this, and then they started to play and showed what Liverpool are about, because they have got quality players. It's just they didn't show it in the first half, especially today.
And very quickly, Liverpool scored again off the back of that, Sue.
Yeah, and that's what they could do. And this was, I'm sure Rick would say defensively he wasn't very happy with it, but this is a good little bit of movement. She just goes in between the full-back and the centre half, and initially her first touch takes her forward, and a good finish, but I'm sure they're going to speak defensively now where it could improve.
Well, I have to credit Kate Longhurst. I thought she made a difference in Liverpool when she came on. She kept the ball in tidy areas, she's played forward passes, played forward, called Notts County problems, and for me she made a difference. I'd asked the question as to why she didn't start. You know, she was better at full-back, and Natasha Harding higher up was better there. So yeah, I think Notts County would be disappointed with their defending there, but you know, their game management probably needs to be better in the final 5 minutes to see it out.
Let's take a look then at the WSL table then, after the 3 games that have taken place today, and Notts County up to 4th now. Massive result for you, Rick. How do you build on that result today?
It adds momentum and belief and confidence to ourselves. We've got 2 tough games coming up. We can't just gloat on it. We've got Birmingham twice, and they are a real tough team to play against.
Rick, well done today. Thank you very much for joining us. My thanks also to Sue and to Casey. We've got the WSL verdict later on as well, which you can keep updates with all the issues in the WSL. We're back on the 19th of May. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye for now.